Like, if a student is not doing well in school, like, why are you beating this child? Like, is it beating that is going to solve the problem? No, it's not beating that's going to solve the problem. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for those of you that are always coming back to watch my videos. And if this is your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Janet. Please do subscribe to this channel so that you'll be able to see more amazing content like this. So guys, today I'm going to be talking about a topic which I already discussed in a different video. It's about bullying, self-confidence, self-esteem, and body image. So I was going through on Facebook, and then this post popped on my news feed. And this guy was going all out of how he was bullied by a particular teacher in his high school, and that actually left a lasting effect on his self-esteem and his confidence. And I read the post, and I also went through the comments, and people were sharing their experiences also of how they were bullied and they were maltreated by teachers in their high school. And I was like, this is actually a big thing in Nigerian secondary school, I would say, because most of them were talking about secondary school teachers. And I'm going to go through the post right now, and I'm also going to share with you some of my thoughts, and also just give my own opinion about the topic. Since I'm filming on my phone, I'm going to be using my laptop just to read the post for you. Okay, I'll put it on the screen also so you can see the post. So this was posted by a guy called Kevin. And this was posted on Wednesday, and it says, there's a photo of the man, and it says, this is the man that drove me to depression that I found it very hard to overcome till date since high school. This man had special hatred and disgust for me right till even after I left the school and came back to visit, when he slapped me because I wouldn't bow down to greet him. Seriously, this guy was a student in the school, and at a point I think he left the school. He didn't say if he graduated or not, but he left the school, and when he went back to visit, this particular teacher actually slapped him because the guy wouldn't bow down to greet him. Oh my god, like, dude, you're not God. Why do you go around looking for people that will bow down to you to greet you? Seriously. And then he went on to say that you don't know the effect of your actions on a child's mind. You think you are being a badass teacher. Meanwhile, you are affecting kids in a way that can destroy their self-confidence growing up. And this is really true, because I feel like children, they take on words that you say to them from a young age, and that actually has depending on what kind of words are being used on them, that usually has an effect on them when they grow up. And he went on to say that I haven't forgiven and I will never forget, and there is no amount of apology that can fix this. I have mental scars I have to live with. I didn't end up a useless child like you always told the class. He said, I didn't learn a single thing from this man in class, because he would always show up in class with a bunch of sticks he would use to flog students till none was left. Oh my god, how can a child learn under these circumstances? I know that there are some teachers that have a reputation of being the ones that know how to flog students, you know, and they carry that with pride. Like, if they want to punish students, they'll say, go and call this mister, he's the one that knows how to beat students. He's the one that knows how to beat students well. Like, students know this teacher for being the one that always beats students. Like, you don't want to have that kind of reputation serious with your students. And he made a good point here. He said, how can a child learn under these circumstances? Like, you're not teaching this children anything that would help. If you feel like he's rebelling, I feel like there are other ways that issues like this can be resolved. Like, kids don't just wake up one day and start rebelling, right? So I just want to mention that this is not all teachers, but just a handful across secondary schools. There are actually a lot more good and caring teachers in Nigerian secondary schools, but I feel like every secondary school has that 1, 2, 3 teachers with not so good reputation, but it's usually not the majority.
And I also know that some students can be stubborn, and teachers want to draw the line and demand respect from their students. But being harsh on students and on children doesn't necessarily mean that they would respect you. They are just afraid of you, and fear doesn't usually equals respect.
I'll go ahead and read some of the comments which I picked from this post. And this person said, because of my size then, I was often bullied in high school. Nobody was friendly, teachers were very mean, and would like to inflict pain at every opportunity. I only have ugly memories of high school. That was 6 years of my life. That 6 years of my life was terrible. And this other person mentioned beating. So this person was not body shamed. She was also beaten in high school. And she said, I felt I was one beast. This man called Bobo has referred to almost killed me. Back then, I just lost my father. This man could beat me every day I come back, could beat me. And every day I come back from school, I would go to the place I last spoke to my dad and cried. Yeah, so you never know what some students are going through, to be honest. And being kind to a student that you see is like rebelling in school would go a long way. Like, just talk to them and understand sometimes they are going through some hard things in their family, in their lives, and they are not just acting up just because they don't want to go to school or something. And another one says, I understand you very well. Had a female teacher who never liked me also, but you have to move on and prove you are not useless. Yeah, they always say that you are useless. Like, you this useless child, like, you will never amount to anything. You don't know anything. He's such a dullard. Those words, like, they take a grip of a student, and they pick that up and take that into adulthood, which affects people. It affects their mental state, like the trauma. This one said, some teachers are mean. Sorry, some mean teachers did the same to me. They always come up with stories like we are not good enough as per God the Father. Like, seriously. They must be God the Father to know that you are useless and you know amount to anything in the future. Like, it's like they have your future in their hands. I don't understand. And he said, though, to be honest, the memory is not always good because that's the people you look up to when you are growing up. Yes. Yes, teachers fail to know that after the parents, they are the number two. Please don't fail the young ones, because these kids have potential yet to unlock. Treat them equally, not only the first position students. Yes, because life now don't depend on school alone. This was one that also I really loved. This lady made a comment. She said, it's sad what some teachers have turned kids to. All I am reading here is a lesson for us all. Let's teach our children to talk to us about anything and everything. This way we can help them if any useless, frustrated teacher wants to talk or treat them down. This is also another good point about teaching your children to really be talking to you. Like, let them be open to come to you and tell you like they have issues. Like, if something happens to your kid, you want your kid to be free enough with you to come to you and say, hey mom, hey dad, this is what happened to me in school. This is what this teacher is telling me. This is what this auntie or this uncle is calling me names in school, and this is how I'm feeling about it. Like, just to have someone to talk to, because kids are not just kids, they are also humans. Like, it's not only adults that need someone to talk to, you know, understand, like when they are going through stress or something from school. So I really like the points like this lady made. I think this was the last comment which I picked. There were a lot of comments on this post. Some were saying, give us his address, let's go and beat him. Nigerians. And I read this post. I spent some time really on Facebook reading this post, and it really got to me. Like, I was just like, man, like the suffering, the stress, the mental trauma starts so early that we grow up as adults struggling to fix certain things, struggling to break certain childhood trauma, certain childhood pain that has been caused by people we look up to when we're younger. I don't know, teachers, please, I beg, na beg we take beg now. We know say, like, you guys have some kind of authority, but you have to treat kids like kids. And the environment in which a child grows up has actually a huge impact on their lives, and it's a determining factor of how they turn out to be as adults. And if it's toxic, if the environment is toxic, full of beatings and insults and name calling, and no show of love for that child, then they're going to come out really having self-esteem issues, like they're not confident, they have mental traumas. They just spend years and years having that pain inside them of what someone did to them in secondary school or in primary school. So please, let's be guided, please, and let's try to be sensitive to the things that are happening with our students, with your students. Try to be sensitive to the things that are happening to them. Children typically hold on to words. Like when you are young, you hold on to words. So when someone speaks to you in a way that makes you feel so little, like makes you feel like you want the ground to open and just swallow you, like it has a bad effect on the person's life. That is why we should not be using negative words. Like, there is power in the tongue. Even the Bible says that there is power in the tongue. And if you use negative words, insult on your students, like you might feel like at that moment you have the power. Yes, it's me, like I can do whatever I want, this is my class. But you also forget that this life, these kids that you are seeing today has nobody, or has a dull lad, has a stupid student. You never know what that child is going to grow up to be in the future. And also, one thing I want to touch on is about punishment, like punishment in Nigerian schools. Guys, it's not everything that calls for beating of a child. It's not everything that it's not the only way to correct a child to beat them, because you are just using all this, I don't know, koboko. You have all these wires that you're using to beat students when they make a mistake. It doesn't correct, to some extent it doesn't really correct them in some cases. Like if a student is not doing well in school, like why are you beating this child? Like, is it beating that is going to solve the problem? No, it's not beating that is going to solve the problem. Some things, like if you really call that child and speak to that person as someone that understands maybe the issues they are having, then it will go a long way, and it will be much more better than flogging and beating children just because you are trying to make them to be disciplined. That's not discipline. That's not discipline. That's just suffering. That's just inflicting pain on another human being. If you're a teacher, or you know another person who is a teacher, nursery school, primary school, secondary school, just, guys, please, let's try to be sensitive to the feelings of other human beings, because that's what students are. Other human beings, they have their struggles, anxiety, they have their pain, they have their sorrow. So let's try to be sensitive to other people's mental, psychological needs. And you don't want your legacy as a teacher to be that teacher that knows how to flog a student. You don't want your legacy to be that man, that wicked teacher. You don't want your legacy to be that, because 5-10 years down the line, these students are going to grow up to be good, responsible and great men and women in the society that you never know where you will meet them again. You might be in need of help, and they are like the ones that can help you in certain situations. So please, guys, let's be guided. I beg, and I beg I take beguna. If you know anyone that is a teacher, I don't know if I would say share this video with them or just watch it with them. Let's just have a conversation around this topic and try to make corrections where necessary. I was actually itching to come here and talk about it. I had so many things in my mind that I couldn't just keep to myself, like I want to say it. And that's the reason why I just came to film this video. I don't know, guys. I know like most of my viewers are Nigerians. What are your experiences? Like, what are your high school experience, your primary school experiences? Have you had situations also where you were maltreated by a teacher? I would like you to share with us in the comment section if you are comfortable with that. And also, please don't forget to like this video, and also turn on the notification bell. And if you subscribe, that would actually help me a lot with my videos. It will help me in my journey creating these videos. So thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.